cards? All right. Moving on, we'll go to reports. Before we start that, while I have it here, I want to mention our airport director's birthday tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Hmm?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, tomorrow.
Thank you.
And
I haven't made it yet.
no, I know. You will. And now that you've mentioned it was 40, it'll be 43. So yeah, well, you're over half as old as me, so you're catching up.
You get the day off tomorrow, huh?
No, I get to go to the dentist tomorrow.
All righty, reports. First one is Super Bowl update.
I got nothing to report on that at this time.
Okay. Nothing.
Okay.
7B is South County Open House, May 30th.
Just a reminder, this weekend, Saturday is the South County Open House where they do their fly-in. We will have the airplane out there that needs to go over on Friday. And it will be staffed, I think somebody, did you volunteer, Fred? No?
I can't make it.
Somebody volunteered to go. Oh, it was Larry, sorry. We'll have some air show people out there and we'll have some city staff with it on Saturday. So come on out, see the plane, have fun, see their stuff, and then come to our air show.
Okay. 7C is CPI, Consumer Price Index.
We're having a little difficulty calculating the CPI this year because for whatever reason they have not updated the database yet. So as soon as the database gets updated, we will issue the letters and get them out. I have not checked this week, but I did check last week,
Okay.
and it still wasn't updated.
Yeah, I checked today, and I think it said like 2.7% since last April.
Oh, okay, so it's
but
updated now?
But anyway, we check it.
We'll take care of it next week.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
Maybe I'll stay late tonight and take care of it.
Yeah. Okay. 7D is Fast Safety Team.
That's the FAA's safety team out there at the airport. They're looking for a flight instructor to volunteer with them. They're also going to be present during the air show. They're going to be doing a couple pilot safety seminars during the show down at the EAA meeting room. So a morning or an afternoon. I think they're showing the same thing both times. I believe we have some contact information up on the bulletin board outside Gavilan Aviation. And if that doesn't work, just come see me and I'll get it to you.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? All right, we have an added item here under reports, item E, runway closure.
Yeah, we will be closing 624 tomorrow from around 7 a.m. till noon for a half-day closure so we can mow it, which is saying something on a asphalt runway. I'm going to guess probably about 6 or 7 people going to be out there running around with weed eaters and taking care of the shoulders and the runways and everything. And it's just safer for us if we close 24 while we're working on it. So hope to get the weeds under control here shortly. They all of a sudden sprouted up with the last couple rains we had. So it's a never-ending war out there on weeds.
Okay.
There we go.
What the hell?
Okay.
Put them under the desk.
All right, moving on to item 8, old business. Item A under 8 is business plan.
Nothing to report on that one.
Okay. Air show.
Lots of stuff to report on that one. So we do have our waiver, so we're good to go. The last bit of documentation that the FAA changed kind of the rules like they always do. So they wanted 2 additional pieces of documentation from us. One came from us, the other one came from the fire department. We got it yesterday, I got it in this morning. So all our needs are met as far as that goes. The waiver is almost identical to waivers in the past, but they did add the caveat that we're not allowed to have a rocket demonstration during the air show. So also no unmanned aerial vehicle demonstrations out there at the air show before we even asked. So Anyway, things are progressing there with the FAA. We got our stuff. Permission with the property owners is all done. We have hotels and cars all straightened up. We may have participation from the Navy. They indicated that they possibly could support us in a static role. So I'm not going to hold my breath because we've heard this before, but we may actually succeed this year in getting F-18 out there.
Nice.
And Steve deserves all the credit for that because I made him do it. He now knows how to do all the military paperwork, which is a lot of fun, isn't it?
You say the Blue Angels?
No.
Oh.
I hear he's bad.
No kidding.
So all in all, we're getting the place polished up, ready for the air show. That's going to be our focus over the next couple weeks, and we're going to go from there.
Okay.
Oh, we did lose one of our performers. He dropped out at the last second due to aircraft issues, and that would be Vance Breeze with his new gyrocopter. So,
You had a new one?
yeah, he has a new one.
Oh.
So he will be there next year, he says.
Mechanical, okay. All right, any questions? No? Okay. Item 8C is AIP 17 runway.
So at last night's council meeting, AIP 17, the plans and specifications were accepted by the city council with a 4-1 vote. And we're given permission to go out to bid. We've gone out to bid. We have a mandatory pre-bid meeting next week on the 4th of June out at the airport, where the contractors that wish to bid on it have to show up and sit through a meeting with us and then walk the site. I will be unable to attend that because I'm going to be busy with the interview situation. We did put the plans and specs on the website because they're huge. If anybody wants to take a look at them, they should be on the airport homepage, I think, down at the bottom. And I thought Tony might have emailed you guys a link to that when she put them up. Nope, okay.
No.
What's the general?
This
You
is a
can go to
spec.
the city of Hollister and then click on the airport.
No. What's the general description, what we're talking about?
The second half of the main runway, what we're going to have to do, because the center of the runway isn't in the center of the runway, the crown is actually about 20 feet to the west
20.
of the center line.
20 feet?
Yeah, about like that. So we're actually going to have to move the crown back to the center of the runway. In addition to the fact that from about the intersection to where we stopped with our first phase of the project, that all has to be torn out and rebuilt like the first phase of the project. And then from the intersection to Taxiway Bravo, that's getting a significant overlay on one side and a 3-inch overlay on the other side. So it's quite the project. In addition to that, we have 2 at-alternate bids. The first one is for the lead-in taxiway all the way down to CAL FIRE to get that squared away. And the other at-alternate is to do taxiway Alpha from 24 north.
How much difference is the crown?
I'm sorry?
How much difference is the crown? 4 or 5 inches?
I don't think that much. I'm thinking more likely 2.
Not that bad.
No. But it's going to mean that one side of the runway is getting like an 8-inch overlay in a section,
Really?
which is a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm confused. Is this part of the Chapin problem?
No,
This is a stage
this is
2
part
project.
of the World War II problem.
Oh,
When they built the runway in 1942, they didn't put the crown in the middle of the runway.
Wow. I mean, 8 inches, I'd almost ought to be able to see that, seems like.
The profiles are all in the plans. You can take a look at them.
All right, all right, I'll look online.
The east side overlay will be significant.
Wow, okay.
And you have a adequate supply of bids?
As of yesterday morning, 34 people had downloaded the plans from eBid board. So I have no bids as of this time because it closes on the 16th at 3 o'clock here.
And what'd you have last time at this particular time? And
I don't know. Sorry.
you had 34 better?
I don't know.
No?
I couldn't even hazard a guess. I know when it ended, we had 4. And of those, only 2 were responsive.
And we have an FAA grant for this?
Yes. 6 point something million dollars.
And of course, presumably have the matching funds.
We do have the matching funds. It's going to clean us out.
Yeah,
And this is the north end of the runway?
south end.
South end, from where we stopped to taxiway Bravo. So from Bravo to just past Delta.
Huh? I never noticed a crown.
Not like that.
Is any bonding involved?
The contractor will be required to provide bond, and the bidders are required to put in bid bonds.
Have the previous issues with the runway been solved or still underway?
Skipping ahead.
Okay.
That's AAP 16.
Presume that's 16, is that right? Yeah, okay. Any more questions or comments about 17? Oop, oop. All right, thank you. Item 8D is AIP number 16.
There's nothing to, no, I'm kidding. I believe we're right now trying to set up a meeting with the contractor for next week. It was tentatively scheduled for Thursday, but I can't be there because of a previous commitment to conducting interviews. So I don't know if it's going to go on without me there or not. I'm waiting to hear that information. It may happen on Wednesday. We'll see. But that's the progress on that one. And that happened all today when I was at court.
So, at our last meeting, you said there was a work to prepare a letter, I think, to be...
A letter was prepared and delivered to the contractor suspending the project until such time as CAL FIRE leaves.
Okay, that's all
So
that
we
was
can
in
close,
it?
yeah, that's all it says.
Okay,
And we can close the runway again.
right, okay. I guess it's kind of related. The CAL FIRE aircraft that...
The
came-
test?
Was that a test aircraft? No, the larger
Yeah,
aircraft?
that was a test to see if everything would work, and everything worked out fine.
I see. Will one of those be showing up sometime soon?
Yes.
Or? Okay.
When did they do that test?
2 weeks ago?
Okay.
2 weeks ago on a Friday, I think. Does
Yeah,
that sound right?
it was a Friday, yeah, it was.
What type of aircraft is it?
It was a DC-4, I believe, right? Yeah, DC-4, out of Paso Robles.
Are we going to have 2 tankers here?
No,
Just one?
yes. That's why they conducted that test, because they're going to need support, and their plan was to send the DC-4 up from Paso, and they reloaded here.
I don't quite understand. Are you saying they just want to know if they could get in and out and load it? Is
They
that
want to
the-
know if they could get in and out, and they want to know if they could load it successfully, and everything worked.
Okay. But they're not actually going to base it here
No,
during the season?
it's based at Paso.
I see. Okay.
So if there's a large fire, like, I don't know, how many did you get today?
Hmm?
Probably went out 4 or 5 times today.
Okay, just with the one, or did they fly one
I
in?
think it was just the one.
Okay, so there was a fire today over in Gilroy. I don't think it was huge, but, so they did operate. Apparently they didn't need it, so they didn't call it.
Okay.
But if it's a large fire, they're going to be bringing it
Then
in.
I'll bring them in. I got it. Thank you.
I will, since we're talking about that, I would ask pilots to be mindful that that we are talking about a large aircraft, and you need to wait till the air calms after it lands for a little bit, because they told me all kinds of stories about people coming in right behind them and flipping over on their backs.
Yeah.
So remember, wake turbulence is real.
Been there, done that.
Okay. Any questions? Actually, we were slightly off track. Connection was the length of the runway, so. Anything else on the IP-16? Okay, item 8E is Jerry Gabe Park.
So we have the playground installed. We have Jerry's sign up, and we got out the new picnic tables. So I think it's looking pretty good over there. Hoping to get an Eagle Scout out to finish some stuff in the dog park shortly. I'm running out of Eagle Scouts though, so I may have to wait till next year's crop. And then I'd say within the next couple of weeks, we'll get the shade structures reinstalled out there that we had to move for the runway project. And just a reminder, there will be no irrigating of that park, so it's going to look bad. We'll keep it mowed, but everything's going to die, just so everybody's prepared for that.
So basically, we're getting no recycled water or anything. at the
Recycled
airport.
water cannot leave the airport fence because the permit does not allow that. So
Isn't the dog park inside the fence?
not inside the airport fence.
Oh, okay.
So although we did prepare it, when we terminated it right there, we cannot legally use it in the dog park because of the permitting requirements with the thing. And it'll take quite a bit of work to change the permit. And the question has been asked several times, why don't we get started now?
And the answer is? No time?
There never has been an answer, so.
All right. Well, I don't have a dog, so I guess I'm not personally interested. But
Although I think on Monday night, the council's hearing an item to actually give all the recycled water to the water district. I think that goes Monday night.
So what's the surface in Jerry Gabe's park then?
I'm sorry?
What's the surface in Jerry Gabe's park?
Dirt?
That's where the children are playing?
Oh, I'm sorry, that is recycled rubber. Around the playground, we put in the recycled rubber for the required 1 foot depth.
Is there any sprinklers in that park?
There are sprinklers in the park, yes.
And you can't use the water for that?
We can irrigate 2 days a week based on 2013 levels, 75% of 2013 levels. And we will do that, which is minimal because of what we got out there. So it's not going to be pretty. All the other parks are going to look horrible too. All the sound walls have been turned off completely.
all the what?
Sound walls. All the landscaping you see when you drive through town in the center dividers and along the side of the road,
Okay.
none of it can be irrigated.
The weeds seem to be growing well.
The weeds grow great.
Yeah.
Next project, I think we're going to landscape just with weeds.
Well, so I'm mowing the weeds in my front yard, so then it looked pretty good. It's interesting. You get different kinds of weed
Textures.
textures and things. It's kind of interesting. Okay. Well, I guess that covers Jerry Gabe's Park. All right. That takes care of old business. New business, we have item A, which says budget, but I guess,
The council held budget hearings a couple weeks ago. There was some concern about the addition of the maintenance worker position out at the airport. That is cloudy, the future is cloudy, to quote the Magic 8 Ball, so I can't tell you what's going to happen there. There was no other comments on the airport budget, so as programmed is proceeding at this time, I believe we're having another budget hearing soon where things will be finalized. Most of the comments were on my other divisions, not the airport.
What was the main concern about that maintenance person?
There are individuals on the council that believe that we should not be hiring anybody.
You mean just automatic, no matter whether they're funded or not?
That's correct. And I didn't do them justice with that argument. That was short and sweet. It has something to do with the budget deficit, perceived budget deficit. If Measure T goes away, but we've tried to explain to them this is the airport. It's a little different, but
That's really not set in stone, is it?
I'm sorry?
No hiring, is that set in stone?
No, it just was discussion. Nothing has happened yet.
Okay,
Does
I have not been ordered to remove that from the budget.
well, that's a plus.
Does Measure E affect the airport?
No,
Enterprise account, huh?
not at all. That is correct.
Just the enterprise fund.
Is that understood?
Should be.
Any other questions concerning the budget? If not, we'll go to 9B, which is AOPA Trade Show booth.
The booth is, we have it, it's set up. Some of you have seen it that have been to an air show meeting.
Oh, you have set it up here today.
Oh, yeah, I was going to bring it here, wasn't I? I was in court all day today. It was awful.
That's what she's for.
He was busy too all day. We were putting up air show signs today, right?
Or something.
Or
Okay.
something.
All right.
At one point, we had to go do some measuring with a laser for council member. But anyway, it's at the airport. If you'd like to stop by, somebody will give you a personal tour of it. It's set up in our conference room. I personally think it looks great, but it's my own creation, so I'm probably a little jealous. Somebody else here could probably give an honest opinion. So we're ready to go for the event when it occurs.
So I guess the same part of the question, you weren't necessarily going to be at the AOPA event.
Oh, yeah, sorry. We made it to the #1 person on the waiting list for the AOP event, and then we didn't make the cut. And the event's over, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it a good event?
It wasn't a bad event. It was a little bit smaller than what I expected. They had a lot of seminars going on, which is nice. We certainly had the room to provide the event, but not necessarily the airport parking. I went out and spent the day there, and like I say, it was a nice event, and I learned quite a bit. And
Good.
different.
Okay. All right. Any other questions about, well, I guess about the booth, AOPA? All right, last item we have on here under new business is item C, which is titled Air National Guard.
So we were contacted by Colonel, right? Major? I thought it was Colonel. I think it was Colonel Cuevo of the Air National Guard. That's his call sign, is Cuevo. His first name's Jose. So anyway, he is out of the Special Operations crew at Moffett Field. They do aerial refueling for Special Operations, and they also do transport of Special Operations. They have a few Black Hawk helicopters, and they have a few C-130s that they operate with. They apparently throughout the state, they've had training sites throughout the state, and apparently they're losing access to many of them. So they came down to inquire our thoughts on them coming down and playing at Hollister and what we would think about that. And I told them straight up, I said, you know, according to the terms of the agreement with the United States Navy, when they gave the city of Hollister the property, if the United States government needs this property for any reason, it is available to them free of charge, period. That made him very happy. So we discussed some of his plans, logistics, and he still had to go back and clear this all with his boss. But we may be seeing increased C-130 traffic in the area. They may come down once or twice a week. He did indicate that they were looking to deploy in the next few months, so they wanted to get a lot of practice in. So obviously, I'm anticipating increased flights as they get closer to their deployment. He suggested that he wanted to know if we had a place where they could drop things out of the back of the plane as it was flying. You know, do a low mission drop. And apparently it's a block of concrete is what he said. And then they have a ground crew that picks up the block of concrete and drives it back to Moffett and puts it back in the airplane and they drop it again. So I indicated the Golden Triangle would be available for such activities. And he was going to come back. I think that's the next step is he comes back and measures it to make sure it meets specs. But just looking at it on the satellite view, he doesn't think that's going to be a problem. And then he suggested that they may need to do some practice parachute drops of people, which apparently are sandbags with parachutes. So I told them, per the agreement, you can do whatever you need to do. So they may drop some sandbags out there, practice parachuting. And then he said, and then we probably will bring some of the Special Forces guys down and drop them out of the airplane at some point. And I said, okay, just so you know, we have this abandoned building over here they could go play in. We let the police department play in there all the time, and they can play with their flashbangs and their paintball guns and do all that stuff. So that may happen at some point. So if you see a guy parachute in, armed, scaling a fence and going into that building, that's what's going on. So if I know about it, I'll let people know about it, but they don't have to let us know about it. So it is what it is. So.
Are they going to be landing the C-130s or just?
They will be landing the C-130s, yes. Remember, wake turbulence is the theme of the
Right.
night. With that said, he said, well, gee, you guys have been great. Is there anything I can do for you? And we did mention the air show. So we did see an email from him to somebody who's supposed to be setting something up, I think. We need to do some follow-up to see how that goes.
It'd be nice to see a C-130 sitting on the ramp for
Wouldn't
the
it?
air show.
Bracketed by Blackhawks?
Yeah.
It would be. So, I do know,
The whole ramp.
I do know the Navy van's coming
Get a
for the
lot
air
of
show again.
attention.
You know what?
The Navy van's coming for the air show again.
Oh,
Okay.
That gentleman contacted me. So that's the story with the Air National Guard.
so I guess I have a couple of questions. Is the Air National Guard, is that a U.S., is that federal?
Yes.
It is, huh? Okay, all right, thank you. Well, that kind of solved that question. I guess the second thing I have is during these operations that they might be doing, are they going to ask for anything like trying to close the airport for them or anything?
No, not at this time.
Okay.
And they said that they have plenty of radios in the machine, and they ought to be able to talk to you guys fine. In fact, he says that when he comes down now, he talks to you guys all the time.
Okay, that's good.
He says he has no problem playing nicely with other people.
Yeah, because he's bigger.
He's bigger.
Yes. Don't get any arguments from me.
When do
Okay.
they plan starting to do this?
That's the last we heard was that meeting. So he's supposed to meet with his boss, come out and do some measurements.
Okay. Any other questions? Comments? Well, that pretty much takes care of our agenda. Item 10 is items for next agenda, which I guess will be going down our current list. Super Bowl updates, which always just placeholder. Open house will be done. CPI, you'll probably want to tell us about that.
Mm-hmm.
What about the fast safety team? No?
Done.
Okay. Runway closure, no. Business plan, keep it on there. Maybe we'll get back to it. Air show will be a, oh, well, that'll be,
That'd be right before the air
right,
show.
yeah, okay, because you moved the meeting, all right.
Saddle horse parade,
What's that?
because of the saddle horse parade. You make that same
Says-
face every year.
Planning Commission. Anyway, all right, yeah, well, it's, okay. AIP 17, that'll be on there. Maybe 8, well, both of them, I guess. Okay,
Right.
Jerry Brigade Park, that's taken care of. Budget should be on there. Trade booth, nothing to say there, I guess.
Right.
And just an update on Air National Guard, if you've heard anything. You know?
If I hear something, I'll put it back on there. I don't think we need to keep it on there.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Anybody have anything else they'd like to?
Yeah, I have a request from a tenant to be put on the agenda, the next meeting. Steve Carter, he wants to discuss something.
Hopefully you got a more topic than just Steve Carter.
Yeah, if you get us the topic, I
I
guess.
say it's concerning his eviction notice.
Okay,
Hmm.
you didn't get an eviction
You wanted to
notice?
make a presentation or something.
Okay. Is there any other requests? Oh, Steve's got one.
We were talking about that app for the airport. You gave mine, right?
What?
They never called us back.
No, you sent me the email.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Okay.
We want to be able to make an app for the airport, for your smartphone.
Huh?
But what do you guys want to see on that app?
Airport.
What's this app supposed to do?
Well, you plug it into your phone, you can get.
How about
laws,
we'll
you
talk
can
about
see-
it next time.
Let's put it on the agenda. Okay, airport app.
Did Robbie have something?
Will it work on dumb phones?
I just wanted, down the planning commission meeting on the 24th, what was that all about?
The saddle horse parade is going to be on the 25th, I'm guessing, and so they moved the planning commission ahead one day, which takes our spot in June, and we have to move up 1 week.
Oh, okay.
Kind of a busy week to have it, but okay, unless you want to move it. No, that's another busy week. Yeah, 4th of July weekend won't be good either.
I guess I don't quite understand. What if the planning commission has to move? Why do they move onto our spot?
Because that's the way they do it. Unless you want to meet on a Tuesday or a Thursday.
No, I mean, why don't they meet on a Tuesday or Thursday?
They're more better.
What do you mean
They-
they're more better?
June 17th is still a Wednesday, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't understand that.
They're
It's just a week early.
a higher level of commission.
Is it? Oh, it's
We're
moved up a week.
advisory,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
they
I
are.
didn't realize.
We went through this
That's
for
just
10
before
years
the air
now.
show.
Where you been?
They
I wasn't
outrank you.
chairman, I guess, last year.
I'm with you, though, don't get me wrong, I'm not defending them.
I'm sorry, what?
They outrank you.
Why can't we keep it and move
Oh.
our meeting at the airport?
We could. You want to keep the same day and go out to the airport?
Sure.
There's a young lady that
They can come up
videos
there and
this
do it at
tonight.
the airport.
They okay doing that? I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
It's after the air show.
It's what?
After the air show.
Oh, that would put it afterwards, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which might not be a bad thing if I'm still conscious.
Steve can get it.
So do you want to move it to the 24th at the airport?
So do we have,
I like it.
anybody not want to do that?
I don't care.
Doesn't matter to us.
That's fine.
You don't have to fight the farmer's market
Right.
for that day.
Okay.
All right, so, all right. Actually, were we done with items, the next agenda?
We are done.
Okay, so, and then, so the next meeting now, we're saying is what, the 24th? Is that right?
That is correct.
June 24th at the airport.
At the airport.
Okay, all right. Hopefully I'll remember and not show up here.
That's right
So-
after the air show. That'd be all.
Okay, there being nothing else, anybody like to move for adjournment?
So.
Okay, I guess Gordon moved it and you seconded it, Robbie? Okay. Moved and seconded, we adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
No, wait, let's keep talking.